All right, everyone, welcome to Phonogenics 101. After a couple months of false starts, we are back on the Prince train, and we're very glad to be here. We are small and mighty, but we do love Prince, and we want to talk about his albums, at least up through the Gold Experience is what my plan is. Anyway, thank you to my Patreon subscribers, and thanks to my YouTube subscribers, and thanks to my friends here who love Prince probably even more than I do, to be honest with you. So let's go around and introduce our panel. Melissa.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm from Akron, Ohio. I love Prince, obviously.
Show your shirt.
Oh, you see it's Pop Life.
I love it.
Paisley Park in the background.
Are you sitting outside of Paisley Park right now?
Yeah, I'm sitting outside Paisley Park right now.
All right, and then we also have from Tampa, Florida, Clark Brooks.
Hi, I'm lying down. That's all I got.
So it's been 11 episodes since we talked about a Prince album, and I've been wanting to do this one for a while, and it just never seemed to happen. So I'm so glad we're finally tackling tonight. I'm like, I don't care if it's me by myself. I'm going to talk about this album. So I'm glad that I might be solo in my love life, but at least when on the Prince Phonogenics, I am not. So we are here to talk about the follow-up to the iconic smash, career-changing, career-defining, one of the biggest albums of the 80s of all time, Purple Rain. But the follow-up was Around the World in a Day. It's interesting because I feel like I was reading that book by Dwayne. Was that his name?
Dwayne Tudor?
Yes. And it kind of seemed like, Around the World in a Day, of course, wasn't as big as Purple Rain, but I remember it being really big at the time. I mean, it was everywhere, and Raspberry Beret was a huge single. So I don't know if my memory remembers it being bigger than it was, but it definitely wasn't a flop. And I don't even remember it being not popular. Like, it was all over the place. So what's your all's memory of Around the World in a Day being released?
You want to go first, Melissa?
Go ahead, Clark.
Well, my memory was I was in Frankfurt, Germany in the Army, and I had a platoon mate. We were both very fanatical fans. We were big-time rabid fans, largely stoked by Purple Rain. And so when the album was coming out, you would see posters. The new album is coming out, the new album's coming out. And the day it came out, we went downtown. We rode the bus and the subway, went down, bought the album, came back, told everybody we bought the new Prince album. Everybody was very excited. And we put it on, and it was not adored. We kind of like skipped through the cuts. And most of the people we played it for were not impressed by most of the stuff that they heard. Now, me and my friend were both still fanatical, and we both loved it, but it was definitely a curveball from what anybody was expecting from Purple Rain or even 1999.
Right.
So I think he did that by design. He got bored with certain stuff, and he did stuff to satisfy what he wanted to do, but I think he definitely lost people from it. But those are people who weren't going to be satisfied anyway because they wanted 1999 Part 3, Purple Rain Part 2.
Right.
So and that just wasn't going to happen. So that's what I remember was the day the album came out, bringing it home and sharing it with our platoon mates, and most of whom were not impressed.
Well, I don't have that great of a memory, so I don't remember the day it came out. I remember going to get it right away because after Purple Rain, everything, we were all excited about that. And then like when you play it, yeah, it's totally different because he was always changing himself. Like we didn't know that then, but like you expect Purple Rain and it's something totally different, although still amazing to me, but Raspberry Beret and Pop Life were big hits. I remember that.
Yeah. And then America was even a minor hit, correct?
America too. That's back when he was still on the radio and playing that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do remember after Purple Rain, Prince, for a little spell, said he was retiring, correct? So then for a minute he was retiring. And then this album came out with little fanfare. Didn't the single Raspberry Beret not even come out before the album? Didn't the album come out and then the single came a little bit later?
I think that's right. I remember not hearing anything from the album until we got the album.
Right. And his publicity campaign was totally different than the rollout for the other albums. It was, I feel like he was definitely trying to do an artistic statement with this album.
Right.
Yeah, and he had a new look and everything. You know, he had a new hairstyle, and you know, and then you put the album on. The first thing you hear is like flute music, and you're like, "What? This is not Prince. Prince never has flute music."
Like, the finger symbols was kind of like a theme throughout a few of those songs, like the little and the I want to say like not Egyptian, but like that type of vibe, like
there's definitely like
a Middle Eastern thing.
Middle Eastern music.
Yeah.
So I was listening in my car today, and as I was telling Clark and Melissa, I hadn't listened to this album from. Oh, is your friend Marcus? Surprise, everyone! We have another guest. So I don't remember what I was saying before, but I'm very excited to introduce to Phonogenics 101 for the first time, but hopefully not the last, because we have a lot of Prince albums to discuss still, and I really want to do these Prince albums. Marcus, tell us about yourself. Where are you from?
Originally from Chicago. I live in Chicago and I live in Las Vegas. I got a kind of like a Batman, Bruce Wayne type of life.
Okay.
So it's like I'm Bruce Wayne in Vegas. Well, I'm a playboy extravagant, and then I go to work as Batman in Chicago.
So do you feel you're more in your Lemon Crush mode or your no, so you're a big Prince fan?
You know what? I can kind of put myself in that category. I know a little bit about Prince. I would say I used to tell like folks like when it comes to Prince, I'm on a planet like Saturn, and some people still on Earth. So it's like they have to kind of catch up. But yeah, I can kind of say that.
Cool. Well, tonight we're talking about Around the World in a Day. And what I was saying is that this was the first time I listened to this album from beginning to end, probably in 20 years.
What?
Because I have the songs I love from this album that are my go-to songs, but then there's the songs that I don't love, to be honest with you, and I just never really listened to them. So,
but we have that in all albums, so that makes sense.
True, but I will say all of Prince's albums up to this point, I like almost every song on him. So this is the first one where I kind of don't love almost every song, because I feel like I could put on Dirty Mind, Controversy, 1999, and even Sign of the Times, Love Sexy, and play them all the way through. But this one just had a couple that I just didn't love. But that's what I love about this panel is everyone has their own opinion and nobody's right or wrong.
Okay.
So after Purple Rain was such a smash, Prince came out with this album, and I'm gonna be a little snark then, and all the thumbs down comments are gonna come into the thing. But I feel like a lot of musicians, not just Prince, but when they have a really popular album, then they make like the artsy album. It always kind of like has a little bit of a Beatles influence and some world music. And I feel like Prince was always a damn artist. Like when he was singing Annie Christian, he was just as artistic as with the flute and the finger symbols on Around the World in a Day, in my opinion. So I feel like, I don't know. That was kind of my thoughts on this album. Marcus, what was your thoughts of Around the World in a Day when you first came into it in 1985?
Well, I was a child, so I probably didn't come into it until my my teenage years. I mean, of course, you're hearing, the popular songs on the radio like Pop Life and Raspberry Beret, of course, the video. But as far as like really having like an opinion, it wasn't until my teenage years, when I started to get some money to go to the record store. And then you just kind of go back. So Around the World in a Day, Purple Rain was that crossover, I made it, da 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 da. But Around the World in a Day was written like kind of like in the same time as Purple Rain.
Right.
So could he have done the exact same formula as Purple Rain? Sure, he could have.
Right.
Sure. He could have easily made it purple and just had like another smash album. But in my opinion, I think he was like, you know what? Let me kind of go left. If you notice, that's when he was like kind of like cutting the hair. He got the haircut, and he was still kind of doing a little bit of the ruffles in the Raspberry Beret video and what have you. But during that tour, he had more like the suit, shirt and tie type of like the cool Morris Day look,
Right.
with the slick back Elvis like do. So I think he just kind of wanted to do like, okay, you guys got Purple, because Purple Rain is like 1989. It's kind of like, that's like, okay, I got you 1989, I got your attention. Here go Purple Rain, bam. Now it's like, okay, let me change my look and change my sound and see if you still can groove to it. And some people was like, okay, what is this? And then some people was like, oh, this is funky too.
Sure.
So it's just, but that's the one thing that we love about Prince, that he has that diverse, where he can just kind of go left field.
Yeah.
And it's still to be right. You think what I'm saying? Like, it's still to be right. So it's very colorful. It's he still was on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Mm-hmm.
He was hot in the 80s. He was popping. So, and he did have some hits which kind of like, on that album, they kind of like grab you. And then of course, we're as Prince fans, like, okay, we're waiting for that next album. Like, okay, what's next?
Right.
So to me, it's not a terrible album, but at the same time, you can't look at Purple Rain and be like, oh, it's not like this. No, because Purple Rain is Purple Rain, and All Around the World in a Day is All Around the World in a Day.
Right.
So it has its own identity.
Yeah, I will say that even though this maybe has some songs I don't like on it, I'm so glad that Prince made the choices he did. Like, I would rather have a song that's not my favorite song, but it's pushing the boundary, than another Purple Rain any day, for any day. So I think he made the right choice. I think this album was pivotal maybe in his longevity, because, if you start to become a formula, then you just don't have that historic long career. And I think this was really important in cementing his legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this was only his 7th album. So we weren't, as fans, we weren't really used to him throwing us curveballs yet.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the first big one. And then if you were okay with that, you're like, all right, this is how it's going to be from now on. We're going to get a new album, and we're going to have to go in with no expectations because we don't know what it's going to be. So, and that was kind of fun, if you kind of went with that vibe, just like, here's a new Prince album. What's going to be on it? I don't even know, but let's find out.
Yep. And we were all there along for the ride.
I also too, like, you have some songs that I like, album wise, and then it might not sound so hot. Like a prime example, what album that you don't like on Around the World in a Day?
What song? I don't like The Ladder.
Okay, The Ladder.
I knew that was the one you didn't like.
Oh, it just goes on.
I heard now I heard The Ladder live multiple times, and it sounds great live. So you kind of have that with Prince, like you're like studio versions of stuff, but then when you kind of like sometimes not feeling certain things, like Temptation.
Right.
I heard Temptation live, and it sounds so funky live. So it just depends on the vibe, He can kind of like grab you with a recorded version, and then or not. So it's like, it was okay, but then when you hear it live, it's like, you know what? That's not that bad. That wasn't, so it just depends. It just depends on kind of what you're feeling, but you're not gonna like everything.
Yeah.
Because you don't have an ear, for you're not gonna like everything. Like people like, oh, I like everything Prince done. Like, come on. You like solo? Really? Come on now.
No.
Like you know what I'm saying?
A little bit.
It's
A
Oh.
little bit.
Melissa does.
so rude.
It's,
The other thing
it's
about
different.
the other thing about this album is there's some great B-sides, and you listen to these B-sides and you're like, man, that could
Yes,
have
Clark.
easily been on the album. I mean,
Yes.
She's Always in My Hair is one of my favorite of his songs, probably top 5. So
Yeah.
I'm going to dig out my vinyl, so keep talking about the B-sides, Clark.
Okay. Go ahead, Mark. You got the flow.
yeah, and then
Clark.
for people were like,
Clark,
oh,
sorry, Clark.
it's all right. And for people who don't think it's funky, Hello is really funky. I mean, it
Oh
sounds.
my
Mhm.
God. Hello.
It's kind of like Controversy. It's got that driving, chugging kind of feel
Yeah.
to it. And both of those could have easily been on the album. I mean, if there was
Mhm.
room, you know.
It could have been a double. It could have been a double album, but probably Warner
was-
probably wasn't ready for it.
He
Yeah.
always kind of did that with the B-sides, though. Put like some hits on the B-sides.
Yeah.
How come you don't call me anymore? Like
Yeah, some
that was
sleepers.
a B-side.
Some sleepers. Yeah. I mean that's great marketing anyway, because it's like, okay, well, we have this album
Mhm.
and it's cool, but then it's like, wait a minute, we have more songs if you buy like the single. So
Yeah.
it's great. It's great marketing. It was a great marketing strategy.
Yeah.
I actually wish he would have continued on through his career with B-sides.
Me too.
The first time I heard She's Always in My Hair was on a jukebox in a bar, and somebody had pressed it accidentally. Because I think it was the B-side of Raspberry Beret. I think they were trying to play Raspberry Beret, and they hit the wrong button on an old school jukebox
Yeah.
with records. So
You know what? That's how I was with Love of Money. I mean, I love Honey Cherry Moon, and I would just like where is this song? You know, like where is this song?
I love that song too. I love Lover Money.
Right.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, where is because that's like the B-side of Kiss, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I believe so, yeah.
where is this song? I'm like, where is the song? Like, where, I can't find it nowhere in the album. Like, it's just, and then you just go to the record store and it's like, hey, I get the single with Kiss. It's like, I have Kiss, but it's like, there's Love of Money, a song that you don't have. And it's like, okay, I got to get the single now. So like I say, it was great marketing strategy on his part on that.
And you have to buy the 7-inch and the 12-inch because there's the single mix, then the extended mix, even for the B-sides a lot of times.
Yeah,
Right.
you got the long version,
Extended mix.
man. Come on, man.
Because
You're
Lover
taking me
Money
back.
had the short version and the long version, from what I remember.
Yeah. It's like you get. I don't know. It's like a Cracker Jack, box. Like that's your prize. That's like
Yeah, a little treat for the real
a little
devoted
treat.
fans.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, do you know my favorite Prince side? And you guys are totally gonna make fun of me because it wasn't one of the popular ones at all. But I love the fucking B-side to Scandalous, Sex.
Oh yeah, that's a great song.
Scandalous is my favorite number one song.
Really?
So yeah,
Yeah,
Scandalous.
that's a great song.
Scandalous is my favorite. Like I like my top 3. I go like Scandalous, Insatiable, and Pink Cashmere.
Really?
So when the sex suit came out, I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Like there's more. Like there's then they and I found like Kim Basinger. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, oh yeah, yeah, I love it. Because I remember as a kid, it was like, what is Scandalous? Like, what is that? Like, what is that word?
All right.
Marcus, you need to know that if you do this again and we have the larger panel, generally most of the other people are not fans of the ballads. So
I'm not a fan of the ballads.
You don't like none of his ballads?
Not really.
I mean,
Wow.
I love his ballads as well. I think he, I mean, you have to think about he's catering. He's trying to cater to everybody.
Sure.
You know, he's trying to cater to like, hey, I can do funk, I can do rock, I can do, hip hop if I need to. And it's like, and I also like, and oh, by the way, I also can do like very beautiful ballads.
I do like Insatiable for the record, though. I do like that song.
Okay, see,
Yeah,
look at that.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
The ballads you can't see. I mean, just his songwriting alone on them ballads are just excellent. Like even like the earlier version of "Do Me Baby" that came out, I was just like, oh yeah, it's still, it was still a great song then, as as it was on Controversy.
All right. So when Around the World in a Day came out, before we talk about song by song, what did you all think of the album cover? Definitely a very surreal, very colorful, different color palette than we usually got from Prince at that point. You have Wendy and you have the Revolution painted as like these weird characters. You have Jill Jones crying, which I don't think made her very happy.
Right.
You have a clown juggling. I mean, it was cool because the album kind of had a gatefold, then plus a little tab. They had the song titles on it that you could rip off, which I don't have, but here's the CD. And from I had the vinyl when I was younger, it did not have the name on it. It was just the painting.
Oh.
Which was ballsy back then. Maybe there was a sticker on the album that came off. What do y'all think of the cover?
Well, it's very colorful.
Yeah,
Sorry,
like
go ahead.
everybody else at the time, I thought it was kind of Sgt. Pepper influenced. And I think that bugged him a little bit. I think he got a lot of comparisons to the Beatles from that. Like people would say it was Beatles influenced. I don't think he enjoyed that very much. But
So you don't feel like it was Beatles influenced?
I think there's some pieces in there, but I don't think overall it's not influenced by the Beatles. No.
Okay, I don't either, to be honest with you.
I never thought that back then. I didn't put it together. I didn't even know it was like the Revolution or whatever in there. Back then, you're just like looking at this new album, like, oh, what's all this interesting little things in the sky, and it tied into his Raspberry Beret video with the clouds.
It was the first album that didn't have him on the cover, which was, I mean, like not a photo of him. So that was
right.
first of all, yeah.
I knew it was a Revolution. I knew that was him with the blonde hair because I think he wanted his hair blonde. He dyed it blonde. I think it fell out.
Oh no!
The color didn't take, the blonde didn't take too well because of the video Raspberry Beret, and that's how everybody was dressed. And I was, like I said, it's very, very colorful. I remember having all the albums on my wall, and that one opened up like a book, so it was like a painting. It's like a painting.
Yeah.
Like I dig the whole kind of artsy of it, like such as like Love Sexy, like that's a painting. I love it, just it stands out. And you got to kind of have something to kind of grab your eye. I mean, we think back then, it was albums. So albums, the picture, really had to look very cool, So like I said, he just wanted to go a different route and be like, okay, like, what I look like, I done made it as a star. So let me kind of just go a different route with this. And he did.
Cool. Melissa or Clark, any thoughts on the album cover?
No.
He went to sleep.
Clark went to sleep.
Maybe he did.
Nap time for Clark. Clark is nap time.
Since he was laying down.
Yeah, but he was already laying down, he nap time. He's like, oh yeah, I'll join you guys. I'll join you guys in 15. Yeah.
All right, so diving into the album, I will say right off the bat that I've always loved the song Around the World in a Day. I think it's a great opening track. I think it's a great place to go after Purple Rain. I love that it incorporates some kind of world music sounds, but still has that Prince funk in there and the drum machine. I think it's the perfect next step. I don't know. I always fucking love this song. When I listened to it today, I still loved it. It's probably in my top 20 favorite Prince songs. I don't know.
Wow.
I think it's a sizzling jam. He's got all the finger symbols. Wendy and Lisa brought all their things to the table. And it worked. I don't know. What do y'all think of this song?
Well, I liked it back then, but I can't say I loved it. Like, it was probably like one of those shockers, like when you first listen to the album, and then you hear that and it's totally different. So I didn't love it right away. I still love the song, but back then that was like a skip for me, I think.
Okay. Wow.
That's so harsh. I dig it. I dig it live. I mean, you look at them old parade concerts and with the lights down, and he's just, ladies and gentlemen, Princeton Revolution, and he's just jumping off pianos, throwing tambourines, So, I dug it live. I think it was great. Like I said, you can hear it on, the album. You'd be like, okay, but then it's like this is what, else how it would sound. Like it has, it just has like a different sound live. So I don't mind it.
I think the opening lyrics, open your heart, open your mind, the train is leaving. Totally is like, we're going on a new journey here, baby.
Right.
We're off the motorcycle. We're off the motorcycle and onto the train.
Right.
Clark, what do you think of this song?
Oh, you're on really did fall asleep. Oh.
Yeah, Mike.
You're still on mute.
He's like going on and on. He like, and he go, come on. And that's why I like Running World Day.
Yeah.
There we go. Start again.
I'm here. Sorry. Technology's hard. I don't know. No, I like the song. And, when I first heard it, I'm kind of going along with the new vibe and everything. And then he throws a bone to those of us who, were used to his old habits when he had the kind of funky fanfare breakdown where he says,
I love that.
I think I want to dance. And then it's like, da, 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 da,
yeah.
That was, yeah. And like, okay, so he's still our guy, so.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly, when I heard that little section, I'm like, he really juxtaposed. That's too big of a word for this late. I got my booster shot say too, so I'm a little like hooked up. But
like
juxtaposition of old and new Prince.
And like Marcus said, that's great live. That moment when they're playing that song live and that kicks in. That's great.
I don't think I've ever heard it live.
Does it sizzle?
There's YouTube.
I don't think I've ever heard it live.
Yeah, there's videos on YouTube.
You keep saying that. Stop. You're hurting my ears. What?
We all have homework to do after this. Because I haven't heard it. I don't really watch many of the live videos, to be honest with you. So.
Well, I'll say this about that, if I can, just to derail this a little bit, that the estate seems to be kind of lax about taking videos down like than they used to be. It used to be, if you came across something, you better watch it that day, because odds are it wasn't going to be up tomorrow.
Right.
And that's really not the case anymore. So you can find some stuff out there now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Any thoughts on Around the World in a Day before we move on to track 2? All right.
I give it thumbs up.
Thumbs up. I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I still give thumbs up.
All right, the next song would turn out to be the name of his record label and recording complex. It was interesting that Prince would have it's Melissa's right in front of Paisley Park. These catchphrases and like terms would show up in Prince songs that would stick with him for the rest of his career. Like when I heard the song New Power Generation on Graffiti Bridge, never did I think that was going to be his band forever. So this is another case of that where Paisley Park is something that stuck with Prince forever. The song itself, I will say never one of my favorites. So
I agree. I didn't
one
really
of
like
my favorites.
I didn't really like the video. I was just like, what? But at the same time, he's preparing us for the future. Like, this is in my head. This is what I want to have, and this is what I want to call it. But as far as like you said, like New Power Generation, it's like, and then that was the band, like MPG, So it gets a thumbs down,
I just feel like it's kind of
favorite.
It's sluggish, like doesn't have too much of a hook.
It's my favorite song on this album.
All right, Melissa, fight for Paisley Park.
Because it is like his idea of this, what he had in his mind of what Paisley Park was going to be. And like he's imagining all these different things, and this is a place of love and we all come together, and that's just what it turned out to be, like his complex. when he was there, when he had concerts, even. You haven't been there yet. You'll see.
You attended some of those concerts there, right?
Yeah, I did go to a couple.
Who haven't
Only
been
the
to
last
Paisley?
couple of years.
I haven't been to Paisley.
Oh man.
Jeremy.
Yeah, we haven't been.
We're going next year. We're going
We've
next
had
year.
plans. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had
Yeah,
plans like
it's
2 years ago.
I used to party at Paisley with Prince. You know, you
Yeah.
guys got to get out.
Is the girl on the seesaw going to be waiting for me over there?
Well, and he did have that playground there that he tore out after.
Yeah, throw out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we have
Yeah.
one thumbs up, one thumbs down. I'm in the middle because I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Clark, where do you stand on this one?
I'm with you on that. I hear the Beatles' influence on this. Not so much the sound, but the concept. It sounds like something John Lennon would have written.
And I don't like the
Okay.
Beatles,
About-
which might be why I don't like this song. Like I don't like the Beatles.
I don't hear the Beatles.
Well, I hear like Lennon used to talk about, idealized, utopian visions, and that's kind of what this is. So
All you
that's-
need
that's
is
right.
love.
Yeah,
Not
it
the
is.
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
can see
I don't
that.
hate it either. But I'll listen to. I won't skip it, but I won't put it on repeat. So
So to sum it up,
Mm.
Paisley Park is in Melissa's heart. It's
It-
halfway
it's
in me
my
and Clark's heart, and it's not in Marcus's.
It's totally in my heart.
All right. Yeah, I think it was his mission
Maybe,
statement.
maybe another version of it. But
Boo.
Well, Melissa, we just lost a friend. Lost another friend.
oh,
All right, next.
Yes.
Condition of the Heart. I'm gonna wait to say how I feel about the song. You guys
let me take the floor on this one. True story, and I don't know. True story. I love Condition of the Heart. I love it. I would say that's actually one of my favorites on this album. And every time I hear it, it reminds me of my mother.
Oh, that's
Like the third verse, the last verse. I don't know. It's just every time I hear it, I'm like, why is it reminding me of my mom? Like my mom, like face will pop up, And I love it. 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 Yeah. I love it.
all right.
It's different. You got a little bit of it in Love Sexy, but it's like one of them songs that you don't hear, but yeah, I dig it.
I think like you can tell like with the lyrics and stuff, he had the heartbreak or whatever going on. But to me, the music's kind of like ethereal. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I'm a fan. I like it. It seems odd to me considering the build up to the song is that like the thunder and lightning crashing orchestral opening. It's such a gentle, delicate little song to follow that bombastic opening. But I like it though. So again, it's another creative choice that he decided to make that's interesting and fun. So
Well, now it's my turn. I don't even want to say how I feel because you guys all love this song.
go ahead.
I don't love it.
Because you don't like ballads, so I can.
Listen, I probably skipped it back then too.
I'm gonna say what I like and don't like about this song.
Okay.
Overall, I feel like it's a hot fucking mess. Like it has the 2-minute intro that sounds like they're warming up in music class. Like I don't need that. I don't need that. His falsetto's like, like
That doesn't sound like that at all.
he's
It
saying
does not sound like that.
He was heartbroken. He was heartbroken.
I was heartbroken listening to that vocal performance. Number 3.
How can you not respect a shout out to Clara Bow? Which who else would reference Clara
Well,
Bow?
that's what I was gonna say. Is I think the lyrics are beautiful. I think it's a majestic chorus. Like that's a really great chorus. But I don't need the music class warm up jazz improv. Like save that for Crystal Ball box set.
So if he would have cut out the intro, you would have liked it.
I think it's just such a rambling song, but it is kind of beautiful too. So I don't know. I'm in the middle. I'm going middle. I guess a mess, but it's beautiful.
I got thumbs up. I got thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, it's just a delicate little Christmas ornament of a song. It's just very
A Christmas ornament.
Yeah, it's kind of it's shiny but
Sprinkles.
fragile, and yeah, it's very delicate. I love it.
He's done a better falsetto in his day though than that.
He was sad. He was sad. Somebody broke his heart. Somebody left him for a real prince. Listen to the lyrics. Like
Who was?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Show a
He
little
was
compassion.
okay. The thing I got out of that was every day is a yellow day, but when you're blue, you think of blue, but he made it yellow. So I'm curious why.
Well, and then when he references Yellow Day again on Sign of the Times, that's good. A yellow day is good in that song.
Yeah,
You know?
but here it's like a sad day.
Yeah.
So
So Clark, you're a thumbs up on Condition of the Heart?
I am.
I know I'm gonna get crucified in the comments for that.
Well, you know what? You deserve it. So
Now I know why we haven't done a Prince episode in 11 episodes.
oh wow.
I'm having a blast. Okay. So we have Around the World in a Day, Paisley Park, Condition of the Heart. I'm sorry, but Raspberry Beret is fucking pop perfection. When that song came out, I'm like, this is. I remember when we did when we did Purple Rain, I'm like, what song is like Take Me With You? I'm like, Raspberry Beret is that kind of breezy, perfect pop song, some acoustic guitar in there, a great melody, great lyrics. I think Raspberry Beret is just as good as anything Prince ever did, honestly.
And the extended version is hot too.
Hot.
oh yeah.
Very hot.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig it. I dig it.
Who is this supposed to be
I
here?
love it.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Or is that just the girl in the Raspberry Beret? All right.
The Raspberry Beret.
Came into the outdoor, so
Isn't that such a great lyric though? Like everything about this song is perfect.
Right.
yeah. And
Working at the
speaking
five
to
and dime.
and speaking to the timelessness, young people that I associate with know this song, and like it could have come out last year. You know, it's truly a classic. Yeah.
That's why I feel like you can't call this album a flop. This song is so iconic. It's one of his best songs. So like, I don't know. I when I listened to this today, like my ears just perked up. I'm like, this song is perfect. Perfect.
Even like the video was jamming. I dig the video.
Yeah, the video.
The cloud suit.
In the cloud suit, the iconic cloud suit. Like,
if he would have shown up in a purple jacket again, everyone would have been like, there he is again with the purple jacket. So I think,
right.
I didn't love all the curveballs, but I'm glad he did a curveball, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I'll also go on record and say that I'm a fan of almost anything he ever did with Claire Fisher with the string arrangements.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's so funny that they never met in real life, but man, the way they collaborated obviously worked. So
do we all give this a thumbs up?
yeah. Oh, total 2 thumbs up.
And then the B-side, She's Always in My Hair, which was supposedly written about Jill Jones.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. I think it's a great
Yeah,
song.
huge.
Love it.
Yeah.
That could have easily been on the album.
Even D'Angelo covered that on the Scream soundtrack.
Oh, he did?
really?
Is it good?
It's oh my God, it's so funky. Yeah. It's Scream, I want to say Scream 2. D'Angelo he redid it. It sounds really good.
He's done some interesting covers because he did Woman's Work, right? Kate Bush. And really well. Like he did a great, like that's a hard song to touch. And I didn't mind his version. So I bet his version of She's Always in My Hair.
Well, that was Maxwell.
Oh, that's Maxwell. You're right.
Yeah.
What did D'Angelo cover? He covered something else that was popular.
Cruisin' by Smokey Robinson, which might be better than Smokey's version. I mean,
okay, that's what I'm
underrated. Yeah.
D'Angelo and Maxwell are nothing alike. So why am I an idiot tonight? I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. That's what we're here for.
It's my.
Hey, said this.
It's fucking me up. All right. So moving on, I'm going to say something controversial. I think Tambourine is fucking awesome. I love it.
I dig it. I dig Tambourine.
I think it fit right on Sign of the Times. It has that like minimal, funky kind of sound.
Right.
Mhm.
I like tambourine.
Is he talking
would
about
fit
it?
on Sign
Is he
of
talking
Times.
about a vagina? What's he talking
He's
about?
He's talking about masturbating.
Masturbating.
Oh,
I play my tambourine.
Play my tambourine. Jeremy. Oh.
Look at Jeremy's throne. Look at
His face.
Like, oh.
well.
You didn't
Okay.
know that, Jeremy?
No, I did not. I did not know that
You have to listen to it again.
inventors of the
Yeah.
AccuJack have returned on tambourine.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This song is funky though, right?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
I think it's the perfect end to side one because that's back when it was vinyl.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Did he do this live, y'all?
I've never heard tambourine
I don't.
live.
It's
I
about
just
masturbation, really?
yeah.
Where's Jeffrey? He would know.
this is a throwback to his just drum and bass songs where it's just, you know, two instruments kind of too, with finger cymbals, of course, but yeah. Got a nice little percolating bass line and then, you know, the drums kind of chiming in. So
He's talking about his baby's tambourine.
okay, well,
He used it for both. So it was like they were both masturbating.
Was he hanging out with Stevie Nicks around this time too? Maybe it was her timbre. All right. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
maybe it's because he had small hands and he was literally using a child's tambourine. Maybe, I don't know.
Tambourine.
Yeah.
And then you got Chris Rock comedy special on Netflix.
Right.
He played it at the very end. So that's like it's dedicated to Prince. Yeah.
He played Tambourine, the song?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
What's the
played
name
it
of
at
the special?
the name of the special, his comedy special is Tambourine. And the end
of it, yeah. In the credits.
In the credits they played Tambourine.
Okay, one thing I loved about the stylization is that each song had its own font and kind of look.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
Remember that?
Mm.
And they carried over to the single covers too.
Which is fitting because no two songs on the album sound anything at all alike. So
No.
that's
You're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All
That's
right.
a good point.
So you flip over the record, and then we have America. Now, this is a song I didn't love back then, but when I heard it, I was like, this is a sizzling fucking song.
Oh, love it.
I loved it.
Oh my God. Okay, time out. Hold on, time out. There was a Prince party in Chicago I used to attend every last Sunday of the month. And it was hosted by Sam Jennings, which is the person who worked for Prince, who did the 3121 album cover, Musicology album cover.
Okay.
And so Sam would get like, you know, Prince's new songs and like play them at Berlin. It was every last Sunday of the month. And he would always play the live version of America.
Oh, like the 20-minute one?
Oh, the video.
Oh.
The video. And when Prince was doing the solo part on the drums, and then when he was doing those hits at the very end, every hit that he did, I did a split to.
Oh.
wow. That's a lot of splits.
Wow.
He has a lot of splits.
Can we get an exhibit A on the camera?
And I don't think I can do that anymore. That was a long
Proof or it didn't happen.
That was young Mark. There's pictures though. There's pictures. But I would, and they would be so impressed. They're like, dude, he did it on all the hits, you know. And for then Sam would always play that version, that live version, and I'm just like, dude. And everybody was stand around like, okay, this guy can do the splits, and you know, I mean, I'm feeling it now. You know, put it this way, like if I have to do something like on my knees, I have to lay down and get stuff underneath my bed.
can relate.
So it's like, but those were some fun times, man. America.
Imagine
totally
how he
thumbs up.
felt.
Yes.
He did 1,000 times more splits than you.
Oh my God. Oh man, those were some fun times. Those were some fun parties.
If I'm gonna do something on my knees, I try to remember the person's name.
All right. Always.
America, thumbs up.
Thumbs up. It's funky, man. It is.
Yeah, thumbs up.
The lower version, like
Love it.
It's funky. It's funky,
And the
man.
lyrics and the way
The
he's
lyrics,
talking.
still relevant.
Yes.
Still
Yeah.
relevant.
Still,
Now-
yeah.
Now, didn't Dwayne's book say that this was basically just something they used to jam on in rehearsal? Like it was just a groove that they would just do at every rehearsal.
And you know, and I believe that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's funky, man. It's funky. Even like if Sheila E does it still today in her concerts.
Right.
It still do America.
And she had a whole
And
album,
the
right?
The extended single's like 26 minutes long,
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
So
Here it is.
you have it
Yeah.
digitally?
No, not digitally.
God damn it.
Mhm.
And girl is the B-side. Girl, woo!
Now, me and my friend had a threesome with this basketball player, and I just got the hits and B-sides on CD. And the first time I ever heard "Girl" was there was something going on that I'm not going to go into detail about. But so that song
Good.
always
That's the right move on that story. That's good. Yeah.
Wait a minute, hold on. What was going on? Wait a minute.
And I just want to say that he denied my Facebook request. So
Did he?
Oh.
denied. Okay, "Girl" I give thumbs up to though. It is a whimsical song.
Beautiful song.
Girl is. I like the long version, man. I mean, when he gets talking at the end, he's just talking, just oh yeah.
Now,
He would.
I feel America is the closest that Around the World in a Day gets to the Purple Rain sound. It's its own thing, but I feel like it could have been a Purple Rain B-side with that Revolution-ish jam.
Yeah, maybe.
It's funky, man.
I think it originates from that era, so
It's kind of still like he was still doing political, like.
Yeah,
Like he
topically it
was.
fits on this album more, for
Mhm.
sure.
he was asked in an interview if that was an ironic song or actually totally patriotic, and he said it was patriotic. So
Yeah, I don't think he was being ironic.
no.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. I hadn't heard that song in a while, and then when it came on, and I still have a CD player in my car, I was actually blown away. Like, it's funky as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that guitar line that he has on there, the lead, it's really haunting. Like, this song has a lot to unpack, I feel like.
And to Marcus's point, that video is awesome. It's a shame that it's a transfer from a VHS tape and there's a glitch in it. But when he just throws the guitar off on the floor, you're like, whoa.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when they was in shooting Under Cherry Moon. It was all over in Paris, right? It was over there.
Yeah, the introduction's in French from whoever that guy is. So
right, they gave a concert somewhere.
it looks like a tiny club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Marcus, you better start getting in shape, because when we all go to Paisley Park next year, we want to see some. I'm just gonna put America on my phone, the live version, and we better see some splits.
See some splits. I don't think my knees can take it anymore, man. Man, that was in my 20s, man. I'm 44 now. It's not. Oh man, but there is a picture. Somebody did catch a picture of me in mid split,
Oh my god.
and I look at that picture how did I do it? How was I that flexible?
I love it. I love it.
I think it's on my Instagram page. I think.
Okay, we're gonna be hunting for it. The Phonogenics family wants to see. All right, much like Raspberry Beret is a perfect pop song, I feel like when I listened to the CD today, Pop Life really jumped out to me as another perfect song.
Pop life.
Do you know the line really stuck out to me? Do you ever have a line that hits you in a way it never did years ago? That we all have we all have a space to fill. And like in this day and age, like I feel like it can mean two things. Like our bodies are taking up space, and then we all have a space within ourselves that we try to fill with addictions and fault. So I feel like it has a double meaning.
He wrote that about Morris Day.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, he wrote about Morris Day, and the interlude part is him getting booed at the Mick Jagger, the Stones.
Oh, that is?
Mm-hmm. That's the audience booing him.
It is. I always thought that was like from a soundtrack from a movie. It sounds like a boxing match.
That's him getting booed at that show. Yeah,
that's the Jill Jones painting on the cover.
So he put that in there.
Wow, that's nice.
Because actually Morris filmed. I think he still got that because he was he filmed every show. So Morris filmed that. So when Morris was really big into drugs and whatnot, Prince wrote Pop Life.
I love the piano part in it. Is that Lisa doing?
The Senate version is great. Like all that, like everything is Pop Life it's funky laugh. Like it's the thumbs up. That Pop Life.
Is that Prince or Lisa doing the piano? Do you guys know? Sorry, Clark.
That's okay.
It could be or like I don't know. I love
that piano line.
In the live version, you got Eric Leeds playing the flute, which who knew he played the flute?
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, most saxophone players can play the flute, I think.
That makes sense. Yeah. I can't play either, so how?
So we all give Pop Life a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Totally. I love Pop Life. Yeah.
Of course, like Melissa's shirt, there was a Japan only remix EP that was released. That was re-released for Record Store Day.
Wow.
Re-released for Record Store Day.
Back.
Oh, I love it. The inside was a live photo.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
It had the Pop Life French dance mix. Some stuff from Purple Rain. I love these like weird little releases that they put out.
Yeah.
The Paisley Park remix. All right, so the B-side to Pop Life was Hello, which he is addressing the controversy of For the Tears in Your Eyes.
That was dope too.
Mm-hmm.
And I know in Dwayne's book, didn't Jill Jones say like it would take more than that silly song to fix his public image? I'm totally paraphrasing off the top of my head.
Wait, the controversy of what?
How he didn't show up for We Are the World.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
He really it's so funky, man. It's like oh my god, man. It's like it's like when he really like when he really like want to like stick it to you, he's gonna stick it to you,
right?
And it's gonna be it's gonna be a hit, And that was Hello was fun, and it's like a standard version to that.
Yeah, I always liked Hello.
Yeah, me too.
So the lyrics, I tried to tell them I didn't want to sing, but I'd gladly write a song instead. They said okay, and everything was cool till the camera tried to get in my bed.
Right.
Oh, I didn't. I guess I really only listened to the chorus or the hook.
They recorded that We Are the World after the Grammy Awards.
The Grammys, yeah.
So everybody was seen going with Quincy Jones to record it, and I think there was probably paparazzi that saw Prince not going there. So,
right.
Which, in retrospect, I think that's the right decision. Look at that video now, and look how many people look so smug with themselves. Like, you got Lionel Richie doing the thumbs up. Yeah, look how great we are doing this, and like.
I don't know though. The Pointer Sisters.
I mean, they just wanted. So Michael Jackson actually sung Prince's part. Prince was supposed to do the bridge.
Okay.
So Prince was like, he just play the guitar. He's like, I'll come, just let me play the guitar. But they're like, well, we don't have a guitar part in this song. So they was like, we got a special part for you. He was gonna do the bridge. That's why Michael had to leave early to redo Prince's part. So Michael has two parts. If you look at it, Michael has two parts.
Right.
Because he was doing Prince's part. He was doing
Why is
Prince's
Dan
part.
Aykroyd there?
Why
the hell is Dan Aykroyd there?
That's Blues Brothers. That's the Blues Brothers.
Listen, Kim Carnes was there.
Yeah.
There's some more lyrics. We're against hungry children. Our record stands tall, but there's just as much hunger here at home.
Yeah,
We'll do what we can. If you try and understand, a flower that has water will grow, and a child misunderstood will go. So he was definitely trying to make a statement.
I don't remember any of those lyrics.
Oh man, it was deep. Hello was deep.
I liked it. I liked it.
It was deep. And if you bought the We Are the World album, which I remember we had in the house, on the back was Tear for Your Eyes.
I liked that song. Did you all like that song?
He had a video, gave it a video, everything. Yeah, it was. I was like, but they like.
And they showed the video during Live Aid too.
Yep.
So yeah.
Now, if I remember right, the studio version of For the Tears in Your Eyes is on the We Are the World album, but then the live one from the video was on the hits and B-sides, if I remember correctly. There's two different versions.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like when they Lisa with him. So it's like Sheila was there because Sheila actually, her niece, was raised by Lionel Richie. So of course,
right.
Sheila's gonna, be there, So, and I know he didn't want like the Revolution to go, they wanted to go, but he was like, no, don't go, So it's like,
how come no one was mad that Madonna wasn't there? Because she was huge at the time.
Yeah,
I think they didn't ask her.
Poor Madonna.
I heard they didn't ask Madonna to go because she was big.
She was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was her, Prince, and Bruce Springsteen right around then. They were kind of dominating everything.
Yeah.
So,
and Cyndi Lauper was still at the top of her commercial game at that point. I love me some later Cyndi. Like I'm a big Cyndi fan.
Well, so I'm just glad there isn't a song out there that has Prince and Huey Lewis on it. That makes me happy. So,
poor Huey.
I mean, they say Prince didn't do well with like around people, whatever. So he probably would have felt like uncomfortable, whatever. That's why he was just like, look, I probably won't talk. I just want to play guitar. And Quincy was like, there's no guitar in the song. But
he doesn't seem like a schmoozer.
Right. We do have a part for you, and it was the bridge. And then he was just like, no, and then that was that, maybe they could have been like, all right, yeah, let's put the guitar part on here just to get him there, and then take it out later. So that way you got.
Oh God!
I do worry. I may have
been mad.
I may have misquoted Jill because I'm tired, so I'm too lazy to get the book out. So not verified quote right there.
I still think if he had been there to play the guitar, I think he still would have been in a corner by himself.
Yeah,
or maybe another room or something.
Yep.
I don't see him just hanging out with those people in a big studio. So
yeah.
Right.
My favorite part of We Are the World. Well, send them your heart, Aunt Dion. Oh God! And then fucking Willie fucking Nelson.
Have you seen her Twitter account?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
We love her.
That's something.
All right, so we all give Pop Life and Hello both thumbs up, right?
Oh yeah.
Pop Life, yes. Hello. Yeah.
All right. Well,
like I said, hello reminds me of Controversy, just the way it kind of chugs at you,
Well, this is about where I check out of this album. So, I was hoping that The Ladder and Temptation would reveal themselves to me as something I missed out on before, but that was not the case today. I feel like The Ladder just has like the one melody that just keeps going and going and going. And I don't know. It's just I feel like he was making some statements. He was dealing with some issues, and I just didn't care. I don't care. I feel like he was trying to be deep. Maybe he was being deep, but that's not what I was, not my favorite. I feel like there's other moments of him being deep. Sign of the Times, The Cross, that touched me more than the latter. So I'm going to start off by saying latter, thumbs down. How do you guys feel about this song?
Oh shit! he was like thumbs down. Did you see that thumb just came out of nowhere? He was just like, it was like, yeah. Right, it was like,
Like he's been waiting all night to pull that.
oh my god, no.
I like the latter. I'm just gonna say that.
I like it. I don't like dislike it. I don't mind it. I don't mind.
You're saying
it.
everyone's looking for the ladder. I'm looking for the volume button to turn it down. I'm looking for the skip button. Okay,
Well,
why do you guys love this song? Redeem my channel. Redeem my YouTube channel.
I heard like his father like helped him, write it. I heard it live. So, it has a different feel when you hear it live. So it's all right. I don't like dislike it. It's all right. I can,
It's spiritual. So.
well, I'm not a fan of it either, and to me, it sounds like someone else trying to do "Purple Rain." To me,
Okay.
like it's a faint copy of that. Also, when Wendy says whatever she says, like "that's for sure" or whatever it is, that irked me. I don't know. Like, shut up, Wendy. Just,
I know. I feel like the way the female
nobody
vocals are
needs you
mixed.
to.
I don't think I heard that.
I must have had it turned down by.
I'll have to go back and listen.
I feel like the
So
female
Wendy.
vocals are just deeper enough in the mix where they're not prominent, but they're a little too loud to be background. So they're just in a place that just seems like uncertain, kind of. It just seems like a very tentative vocal performance. Is it just Wendy singing, or probably a few people, right?
Well, she's the only one that feels like she has to pop up and offer an affirmation for what he's saying, which I don't know. That could just be personally irksome to me. That's all.
I feel like we can't get through one of these podcasts without throwing some shade at Wendy and Lisa. And I just love, I love their solo album so much.
Oh, me too.
Like
Yeah.
I do a podcast on all 5 of their solo albums. Like I love them, but they just do and have done and said some things throughout the years that I just can't help but comment on. And I kind of wish I hadn't, because I want to be their friends.
Too late.
It's too late.
Too late now.
Do you think that, Prince liked to move on and go in different directions, all that, but do you think that part of his really visual association with those two was the fact that he recognized they were so popular from the movie, and there was a bit of a draw there? Do you think maybe he leaned on that a little bit? Like, yeah, I moved on from Purple Rain, but let me keep this aspect to it because people like those two. Because they seem to like pop up in places where they weren't necessarily needed or whatever.
Well, no, I'm not going to say anything.
Damn. I like leaned in. I was like, then what are you about to say?
Spill the tea. Spill the tea.
All right, I love Wendy and Lee. Like I love them. I love their music. Just that first book that Dwayne came out with, they were just so like we introduced Prince to so much, and he just grew so much because of us. I'm like, he would have grown.
Somebody else said that too.
Yeah, I'm just like
the twin sister.
Oh, Susanna.
Yeah,
sister.
I was being elusive on purpose.
So, like in the first podcast when we decided the times, I'm like, it takes more than bringing a pair of fucking finger cymbals to the studio to change the trajectory of pop music. But I might just be being bitchy.
Well, if you listen to them, they would have you believe that he'd never heard jazz before they showed him jazz. It's like,
or Joni Mitchell.
Who's believing that?
I don't know. I mean, he probably had some influence.
His dad played jazz, so
right. His dad played right. Yeah, he grew up. Yeah, he grew up. Yeah.
In their defense, though,
was a jazz singer.
In their defense, everybody mourns differently, and that might be the way they need to mourn is to hold on to their contribution, because certainly they did contribute to the Prince sound.
Of course.
Yeah.
We're not saying they did.
Of course.
Yeah.
But listening to the sign of the time,
fired over a chicken dinner for 30 years.
it better been some damn good chicken. When I was listening to the sign of the times mixes and like the Dream Factory stuff, I feel like the Prince solo versions were actually better though. I think like Strange Relationship, Wendy and Lisa's Strange Relationship, Prince solo. I like his version better. Like we don't need the sitar.
No.
Oh, stop me from talking. Wendy and Lisa, I love you. Rainbow Lake, Fruit at the Bottom, Waterfall. I'm there for all of it.
Yeah, no, I like their stuff. I don't dislike them, but I do think they've kind of overstated maybe their
A lot of people have.
Yeah.
I think it comes with territory. It comes with
Mourning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's mourning. Everyone's saying that they're the ones that brought the fucking lemon cake to the studio, but who really brought it?
Oh my god.
Oh, the great lemon cake.
Marcus is like, I'm never doing this
Lemon
podcast
cake
again.
debacle.
This is so funny.
Did you ever see the lemon cake meme I made?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay, I'll dig it up somewhere. Okay, ladder.
I could deal with it. It's not it's all right.
I like the lyrics and the spiritual aspect, and I guess I've never seen it live, but I guess that would be awesome.
Okay. All right, we're down to the final song on the album, Temptation. It's a scorching blues-ish number where it really seems like he's really working something out.
Yeah.
This is odd, like to follow up the ladder, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just like
it's very
switch
angry.
gears.
Yeah, he's all over the place with this.
He's screaming,
like-
talking, yelling.
Yeah.
All right.
No finger symbols to be found anywhere on this one. Right?
He's I heard this live though. I heard a live version of this.
Wow.
How was
This
it?
is great live.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. But yeah, it's he was all over the place. You know, he was like, it's like he's like talking, to God or the devil. Like he's kind of like a
Right.
lot going on,
Right.
and like the Purple Rain Syracuse, like when he
Yeah.
sings God, and he, how he reenacts with the thundering on the piano,
Mhm.
and
Right.
he got that. It's like he's both. So yeah, I remember I used to, what's so funny? This is how I started kind of listening to Temptation. I had a tape of Around the World in a Day, and it got stuck in the fucking tape player in the car. And
no.
I would listen to this motherfucker all
Oh!
it got stuck.
Damn.
So I would listen to this, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Like,
I would have bought a new car.
oh shit.
I have two things to say. Number one,
That's
I
harsh.
feel like he's trying to go for, not trying, I'm wrong. There's some of the intensity from Darling Nikki there, but now we're
Okay,
talking about
okay.
God instead of sex.
Okay.
And number two, if I want Prince,
Well, he's still talking about sex.
okay,
think.
you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Number two, if I want Prince trying to deal with God and the devil, I got the Batman soundtrack for that.
Mm-hmm. Love
Well-
sexy for that. Yeah, I mean, all of his stuff was religious.
Yeah.
Like if you
Yeah.
throughout his career,
And the conflict between
yeah, good or bad, good or bad, and it's like he's like, it's like I got these demons, and like typical Gemini. I'm a Gemini. My birthday's May 25th, so you kind of got that two-sided, and of course, I heard like May Geminis are different from June Geminis, and he it's just like he just, I don't know, it's just like both. He's playing like both characters, like I said, good or bad.
Mhm.
Good or
Kind
bad.
of, yeah. Kind of like his persona was like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember the ending at all, where the kind of goes to like a softer thing with a weird drum thing, and he's talking for a while. I didn't remember that part, but it didn't make me like the song anymore.
Well, I will tell you this: the buddy that I mentioned earlier, that at the top of the show, that when we bought the album together, and
Right.
When we listened to that song and it got to that dialogue at the end, and God goes, "Now die," we both laughed. Like, did he just say die? I think he just said die. Yeah, and so the message did not land, at least on the first listen. So at least with us,
Right.
Did it land in your more recent listen?
No, I still remember laughing. Like,
when I heard that today, I didn't remember that. I'm like, what's Bob George doing in the studio here? Sounded like Bob George.
Or like, now die? Is that what? That seems awfully abrupt, you know?
Now, I know we're jumping ahead a couple months here, but I feel like, because Marcus, you brought up Love Sexy, I think that's a amazing album from beginning to end. There's not one song I ever skipped on Love Sexy.
Well, you can't skip them.
I mean, you can't.
Well, you can't skip them.
But
I had the vinyl, though. I had the vinyl when it came out.
Okay.
But yeah, the CD is on one track. That's right.
One track. I
Right.
remember when I bought that, I was like, is this
And between
Right
that
now.
and your cassette player in your car, you're like, man, media hates.
right? I'm like, man, what's going on?
All right.
Man.
Well, how do we, Marcus, you introduced thumbs up, sideways, or down to the discussion, and that is sticking with us through the rest of the Prince podcast. I like it.
Okay, you can take that and run with it. You can have it.
Copyright
you know.
Marcus. Copyright Marcus.
I influence and inspire a lot, you know, in the Prince world. So
I love
definitely
it.
take stuff and run with it, man, because that's what we hear, you know, love for one another and you know, to get through this thing called life. So
I remember when I was a kid, though, that beginning of Temptation where it's like sex, like it's scary. Like I was like,
well, the whole thing it has that like the beginning of Rainbow Children where he's like playing with the things and the voice and yeah.
Don't know what I'm talking.
I've never listened to that album, The Rainbow Children.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you're missing out.
Dude, he had
Went to the
a listening
celebration.
party. He had a listening
Yeah.
party at Paisley, and I went.
Nice.
And he played it. You know, we was all, you know, kind of sitting around. He played it. I mean, from beginning to end, and everybody just listening. And I remember when it was over, I was like, man, this kind of sounds like the Wiz.
No.
Kind of, you know, the more like that musical, like that, you know.
Yeah.
I was, you know, and he was just around, you know. I remember he was just standing around, and then he had like a gray outfit, gray turtleneck and stuff, and you know, and I, you know, you can just give your opinion to him, you know, and that's what he was there for,
Right.
You know, so you can give your opinion before he like released it, you know. So, like I said, this is when he was kind of, you know, crossing over to Jehovah's Witness, and so he was just, you know, embarking on, you know, a new, you know, his new religion. So I remember that. I would never forget that.
When it first came out, I was like, what is this and what is going on? But it's grown on me.
Now, I know our friend Jeffrey does not like the Welcome to America album, but I've listened to it a couple times. I loved it. I thought
I didn't really like it. I didn't really like it. I think out of the whole album,
what
I probably like two songs, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Like 2 songs. Like I'm like very critical. I was like, wait a minute, like what? Like what is this? You know, and it's just I said like 2 songs I like, but I don't know. I'm not really like, I was just like, what? Like, huh? Like,
so what do you think?
Like, let me tell you why. This is my argument. This is my argument. I always go back to the Symbol album.
Okay.
if you really like dissect that album, it's like he really put so much in it, with the horns and the composers. Like, I mean, just like, dude, he has a song called "Sexy Motherfucker." It's like
just amazing, right?
Right. I mean, just funky as I don't know what. And I'm like, and I remember when I first heard, I'm like, is he saying motherfucker? Like, and it's like a groove. I was a teenager, man. I like that 92. I had to been like 13, 14 years old, and I'm just like blown away. So when I hear like albums like Welcome to America, I always kind of go back to that Symbol album, like Morning Paper, Love to the Nines, and I just be like, like God created woman, so forth. Like I just listening to like, Seven, and I'm like, man, he put so much in like every song. And then you kind of fast forward it. I just always thought that, like, I don't know, it could have been like so much. I don't know what. I think Welcome to America, in my opinion, it was more geared to the girls, like Shelby J, Liv.
Okay.
I think it was more kind of geared to them to kind of let them shine a little bit, and that's just my opinion because I hear them more in that album, But and then he canned it. I mean, he literally canned the entire whole album.
So, what do y'all think the estate's gonna do next? What's the next thing coming from the estate?
I think Diamonds and Pearl.
Okay. Yep.
I can see that.
I think Diamonds and Pearl might be the next one.
Because has the version from Get Off the video ever been on CD? I've never found that exact version from the video on CD. Like something similar, but never that exact one.
From the video?
Right, because there's like that extra verse in there that's not on the album.
Okay.
Verse?
Yeah. Yep. He's right. It is an extra verse.
And there's like a 12-inch version that like has the extra verse, but it's really long. So it's like it doesn't have the. I've never found the video edit anywhere. So listeners,
if you get the Get Off, it's like a.
You talking about the pool table one?
It's like a maxi single.
Maxi
single. Yeah. That's where they got all the different versions of Get Off.
Yeah.
With Violet the organ grinder.
Oh fuck, dude, that motherfucking shit.
Oh, that's my song.
Oh, that's a good
And Violet the organ grinder.
Sexy video and shit. All that shit. I'm like, oh yeah, that's you can't, yeah. I believe that Diamonds and Pearl is going to be the next one. They did such a tremendous job with Sign of the Times that they have to come correct from now on after that. Because I was like, man, why Purple Rain in 1989 wasn't like this? Like, because Sign of the Times is my favorite album.
Yep.
Me too.
And when they came out with that, I was like, damn, they really kicked ass. I mean, for them to dig out all the songs and to redo them over, yeah, they did a awesome job. So they can't come half-ass anymore when they come out with different. I think Diamonds and Pearls will be the next one. Or
I hope if it is, I hope it has the video version of Willing and Able because that's so much better than the album version.
Yeah, so much better than the album. Yep. I agree.
And I love the album version, to be honest with you.
Oh,
I love that song.
Yeah, it's good. Now we're not saying it's not good. It's good.
Right. It's
but
just
that
the video
live
version
version with the steels. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the horns. There's horns on it.
Horns. Yep, the horns. And when he had that horn section, that's when he really brought him out in the Symbol album. Like it was just like, okay, yeah, we finna use you guys. We finna, So I didn't like too much. I mean, I've been listening to it a lot lately, and I'm just like, why do you have Tony M like damn near on every album, like every song? Like it's like, come on, dude. Like if you wanted to kind of go that whole rap, he could have had like different artists or something or whatever. But
it would be funny if Tony M was doing interviews like Wendy and Lisa, like I changed the trajectory of Prince's music with my rap.
Well,
that's horrible.
To some extent,
Gangsta Glam is cool. I dig Gangsta Glam. That's cool, But I mean,
no Jughead for you.
The video.
To some extent,
did you guys have that VHS? with all
What's
the
that,
songs
Clark?
in the video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say, to some extent, I feel like that era was the first time he was kind of chasing a trend with hip hop rather than kind of setting trends.
Sure,
And
I
it
agree.
was a little sad from that standpoint. Like, I mean, you don't, just because everybody else has a hip hop artist on there, you don't have to do that.
There were definitely some misses. There were some hits and some misses.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I was just saying, I'm really good friends with TC Ellis, and he has a place in Vegas, and of course he stays in Minnesota and St. Paul, and he was the first rapper signed to Paisley, and so his story is, and a lot of people don't know his story. His story is pretty unique, very unique. So when Prince was doing Batman, TC, that whole graffiti bridge thing, like, hey kid, won't you let me rap? That was true. He said every time he would run into Prince, he was, him and Prince was like childhood friends, what have you. Because TC, he would say he said Prince performed at my prom. I'm like, what? Prince performed at our prom. I said, are you kidding me? He was like, yeah. So when Prince got, famous, he's become Prince. So TC will be like, Prince, hip hop is coming, you should let me rap. So he would always be like, Prince, let me rap. So when Prince was doing Bad Dance, like Batman, the album, TC came out with a song called the Batman or something. He was talking about the movie before the movie even came out, because Miko Weaver would tell him about what's going on in the movie or whatever, And so he put that song out himself, and then Warner Brothers was kind of like, okay, who is this guy singing about the movie that we haven't even put out yet? This big blockbuster movie that we haven't put out yet. So Prince snatched up TC, was like, okay, we're gonna sign you to the label, da 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 da. And so TC said he wished that he would have had rappers producing his album instead of musicians producing his album. He thought that it would have came out a lot better than what it did. Now, a lot of people don't know this. TC became rich after the deal with Warner Brothers, because he was signed to a 3-album deal with Warner's. But when Graffiti Bridge flopped, they dropped
Capital F.
Right. They dropped TC, but not after Prince told him out of 2 contracts which one to sign. Okay, so Prince was like, hey, you want to sign this contract? He was like, no, man, I think this one is good, da 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 da. Got a 3-album deal, I'm gonna sign this one. Prince was like, no, because if this movie don't do good, they're gonna drop you and you don't get nothing. But if you sign this contract, they still have to pay you. And he was like, okay. So he signed it and got $1 million.
Shit.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that. He got $1 million.
Shit.
And he was like, I was rich overnight. He said, my album didn't go nowhere. I was in Graffiti Bridge. He said, I had to, I sung at the very end, Prince, finally let me rap on his song. But he was like, it didn't go nowhere. I just did that one album, but I got $1 million.
Damn.
Wow. What's he doing now?
Well, he owns a charter school for music. So he has a school for kids that knows how to produce and so forth like that. But it's in St. Paul. So everything that's in Paisley, he has in St. Paul. So he actually has a real facility, a real school. Because I actually went there. I had some friends that want to do some recording. So he gave me the key. And so he let us record at night. And it has like a basketball court, lunchroom. I mean, you name it. It's a real school. And I think he's opening multiple ones. So he took that money and just made something out of it.
I love it.
That's great.
Now, Marcus, there's another singer that lives in Las Vegas that I've been trying to do a podcast on since the beginning, and no one will do it with me. I'm looking at you, Melissa and Clark. Sue Ann Carwell's Blue Velvet album.
I know Sue Ann. She's a very good friend of mine as well. I will call her, and I will get her on your podcast.
She said she'd do it, but I need someone else to do it. So would you come on, you guys? We have to do this album.
We didn't say we wouldn't do it.
Blue Velvet is such a good album.
I didn't do it either. I don't remember saying that at all.
That's TC's sister.
For real, it's his sister.
Mm-hmm.
Because that Jesse Johnson produced the whole first half of the album, and it's amazing. It's so funky.
Where can I hear it at?
YouTube.
No, I put it up. I have it up on Google Drive, so I'll share it with you. I don't even think it's on YouTube.
So, Marcus, what you're seeing here is Gloff trying to Wendy and Lisa, me and Melissa here.
Right.
Trying to fire us over a chicken dinner.
Sue Ann has a lot of stories, man. My favorite story, because she was she was very young when Prince, they was all teenagers, but she was kind of like the youngest. And my favorite story that she had told me was it's some funny shit. My favorite story, and I just couldn't believe when she told me. I'm like, is this true? She's like, this is true. She said Prince asked her out. She was going on a date with Prince, and she's like, I'm a teenager. She's like, we actually teenagers. Like Prince asked his dad to use the car, and he comes to pick me up, and Prince comes into the house and sits down. So she says in the house they had like a long staircase, like where her room was at. So Prince was sitting downstairs. I guess it was a chair by the staircase. So Sue Ann's mom, TC's like there. I think TC's room was like in the basement or whatever. And he just goes like, "Hey, Sue Ann, Prince is here, come to get you." I think they was going to some concert, but she was like, we were teenagers. She was like, I was like 15, like I'm young, but he liked the fact that I had a voice like an adult. I can sing. Right. So he picks me up, and I'm at the top of the stairs. She said she takes one fucking step and fucking falls all the way down. Like literally tumbles all the way down the stairs and fall like right next to Prince, right? She said Prince looks down and goes, Are you ready to go?
Okay, now I want to say that I uploaded this Blue Velvet on November 20th, 2020. So I've been trying to do a Sue Ann podcast for a year next week.
I could call her tomorrow, man. She just had a birthday. Her birthday was November 1st.
I love
her birthday.
Because her first album was with Giorgio Moroder or Pete Bellot from The Donna Summer. Then she had the one with Jesse Johnson. Then she had one in the 90s, Painkiller. And then she did a blues album.
Yeah, she was on the background of that time, the original 7. She did all the background vocals.
She's like amazing. I am a huge Sue Ann fan.
Yeah, she did that, and she has so many stories, man. I mean, literally, she has so many stories. And I met Jesse Johnson's daughter because of her.
Wow.
She was like staying with her in her house, and I would come over there, and her name was Bella, and she would play the guitar. She could play the guitar, and she would play. Like she had to be like in her 20s, and she would play like her father's songs on acoustic guitar.
Wow.
And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. And so she oh man, Sue Ann Carwell, yeah, she I got stories after stories, but I'll give her a call. I know I wished her happy birthday the other day. I'll give her a call. And
I first heard of her because she sang background vocals on Love Struck on Jesse Johnson's Every Shade of Every Shade of Love album.
That's a great song.
That's a great song.
You know what? You know what's so funny? She still today get royalty checks.
Good.
She still today get royalty checks because she's done so much. She's done so much. Like you go to her house, she got like the gold platinum albums of like the artists she done work with or she done like demos with. Because she told me she did like demos for the For You album, you know, because she wanted to hear, you know, Prince was like writing stuff and he was like, hey, sing this, da da da. Like my actually screensaver, as far as her picture, her profile picture, the picture of her and Prince.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, at First Avenue. And so yeah, she goes like all the way back, man. I mean, literally, she's from the beginning. She'll tell you stories like before Prince was actually Prince. She'll tell you like all them stories, and she's like, you know, real cool, real little woman, and I don't know, it's crazy. But she has 2 daughters, and her youngest daughter is by one of the members of Cameo.
Oh, really? Word up.
Ow.
Ow. All right.
Right.
So we have 2 things we have to do before we wrap up, because this booster shot's starting to kick in a little bit here.
Okay. Yeah, it's getting late. It's getting late over here as well.
Temptation, thumbs up or down?
I'll be a thumbs up on the Temptation, but you know, it got stuck in the tape deck. that was a commitment, man. That was a commitment. Listen over and over.
And the final thing we have to do is rank Around the World in a Day on a scale of 1 to 10. 10's a classic. 1 is garbage. It's so funny because on the Madonna podcast, we're like, what would you rank this on a scale of Madam X to 10?
That's funny.
That album's so bad. Okay.
Around the World in a Day, 1 to 10, I would give it a fair 8.
Okay, an 8 from Marcus. Clark or Melissa?
I'll say it's an 8. It's an essential album in the catalog, but by the same token, I get why a lot of people aren't into it, that aren't the devoted Prince fans. So, but it's definitely a crucial part of the catalog. So,
Melissa?
I would say 8.5 or 9. Yeah. I think it's the beginning of Prince like doing the shift where he just like totally changed gears and did something totally different. So,
all right, I think you all have convinced me, because I was going to give it like a 7 or 7.5. That this is Clark, as you said, essential in his discography. It changed the course of his career for the better, I think, and I think it has some classic songs and B-sides. So a solid 8. I give it an 8.
oh, look at you coming around.
Yeah.
All right. That's
It's
fair. 8 is fair. That's fair. That's a fair. Yeah.
I give it a 9 or 9.5 for Paisley Park.
I would have given it an 8.5 if it
7.
wasn't for Paisley.
I might have given it a 7, but for the B-sides.
Yeah, right. The B-sides carry it. Yeah, it's not a terrible album. It's not terrible.
No.
You know, it's not a New Power Soul. You know, it's not a like, you know.
New Power Soul. I love that album.
Oh! Someone had to.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
It's just somebody had to.
Marcus, you were such a fun addition to our podcast. I hope you stick with us from here on forth. This was great.
I don't know where I'll be, but yeah,
if you're around, you'll be around.
Yeah, if I'm around, man. And you know,
Parade is next month.
Oh wow, I like Parade. I mean, this was fun. This is great. I've been in a lot of different interviews and so forth. You know, like I said, I'm a, you know, people, you know, call me a living legend. And I'm just like, I just know a lot of people. You know, I
love it.
I used to work with the Twins, and you know, I dated Sheila E.'s sister. You know, so I've been around. You know, and I've been like kind of, you know, I shook hands with Prince, so I got stories. You know,
Well, I love it. I love your stories, and thanks for putting up with my stupidity on this.
So Jeremy, if we get him and Jeffrey Dicker together, it's possible that they literally know everybody.
I know.
Right. Right.
You know, I'm like real cool with Maite. You know, I've been around. I've been around. You know, like I said, you know, it ain't just about the music.
Digital Underground.
I take it right. I take it you know, further, but I've been out the loop for quite some time. But when I'm like dug back up, you know, I still got it. I still got my chops.
All right. Well, if you see Wendy and Lisa, tell them I'm very sorry for being a little snarky.
I haven't seen Wendy and Lisa. Oh God, it's been a few years. The last time I've seen them. But yeah, thank you for having me on here. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I can bring some type of info to certain things that if you didn't know.
Yeah, this was a blast.
Yeah, super appreciated. Yeah.
All right, friends. Well, we will meet again in December somehow, somewhere, where we go on Christopher Tracy's parade. And
that should be fun. That definitely should be fun.
It snows in April, and the girls and boys come out to play. All right, y'all are the best. Thank you so much.
See you later.
All right.
Night.
Bye.
Guys. Bye-bye.